Hi, I'm Robert, and this fuzzy guy is Ruger, my bestest boy mule. Today, we're not going to talk about the long ear end. We're going to talk about the other end of the mule. We're going to talk about Britchens and Cruppers. Yes, he's a good boy. I get a lot of questions about Britchens or Breechens, depending upon where you are in the country, what they do, why I use them, and why not just use a Crupper. So let's talk about that. But first, if you would, please click on that like, share, and subscribe button. Ruger here would sure appreciate it. And a word of warning and a word of safety. I would not stand like this behind any mule other than mine, who is used to me, and no matter what somebody says, if it's not your animal and you don't know it and don't trust it, don't put yourself in a compromising position. Just a word of warning there. So the Britchen, or the breeching, all it is a series of leather straps that hold your saddle and keep it from creeping forward. And it does that by way of this big, broad butt strap. Yes, he's got a big butt. And this spider pad up top. And like I said earlier, all the Britchen does is it provides a big, wide distribution area for any pressure that wants to pull it forward. Compare the Britchen's big, wide leather pad to the Crupper very narrow leather or other material that goes right underneath Ruger's tail, or would go underneath Ruger's tail. You have a very small amount of material to resist that pressure, so the pressure is going to be much higher on this than it is on this. Also, the Crupper going underneath his tail, all of that pressure is being put right on his tailbone. Imagine if you had a tailbone and we wrapped something around it and then yanked. I don't think you'd like it very much. I know I wouldn't, and I can guarantee you Ruger wouldn't. I think a Britchen is far superior to a Crupper. So how should a Britchen or breeching fit? This is how I like to set up mine for my animals. This is a spider pad, and if you think about all these straps coming off of it as a spider legs, you see why it's called a spider strap. I like my spider pad to be in between the highest point of his butt and the top of his tail, or his dock. And mine is just a little bit closer to his dock, but it works pretty well for us. Yes, he's a good boy. For the butt strap, I like it to be in between the widest part of his bum and the narrowest part of his bum. So right around in here, where it's going to catch all that good big muscle to hold that saddle back. I also like it to be loose enough that I can easily get a hand in. When he's kind of sort of squared up, I can easily put a hand in. I don't want it to be so tight that it's constantly rubbing, but I want it to engage when this back leg comes back when we're going downhill. Here's a common misconception for you. I've been told several times that Britchens are only worn by mules because a Britchen is going to keep them from kicking. If only that were the case. It's not going to keep your animal from kicking at all. It's simply, like I said before, a tool to keep a saddle back on a mutton-withered animal. Most mules, of course, have mutton withers, not all of them, but most of them. But a lot of horses have those mutton withers as well, and they could wear this Britchen a lot more comfortably than this tiny little bit of a Crupper. A question that I get a fair bit is leather versus synthetic. Ruger's Britchen, of course, is leather. I like leather. It smells good, it feels good, but it takes a lot of maintenance. And with synthetic, you can avoid a lot of that maintenance, which is a good thing. I happen to like this Britchen quite a bit. It fits him, it works for me, but under no circumstances would I turn my nose up at synthetic materials. The most important thing, regardless of the material it's made out of, is it made well. So synthetic or leather, I don't think it matters. Just get tools and tack and equipment that is made well and will work for you in the long run. He's a good boy. Yes, he's a good boy. Another thing that I hear about Britchens is that they're too heavy. There's too many straps. They're getting in the way. Well, yeah, they do weigh a couple pounds and there are more straps to deal with. But for me, The comfort of my animal is a lot more important than any small convenience I can get from using something else. Well, there you go. My thoughts on Britchen or breeching, however you want to pronounce it, and why Britchen is a fabulous piece of equipment for horses as well as mules. Try a Britchen on your horse. I think they'll appreciate it for its comfort. And now I think it's time for Ruger and I to go for a ride. If you would though, please click on that like, share, and subscribe button. Ruger here would sure appreciate it. For more practical information about trail riding and camping with horses and mules, give us a visit at trailmeister.com. I'm going for a ride. Walk on, little man. Good boy.